話其實喺10月，當然已經過咗9月23啦。其實就係喺呢個羅斯堡咧，咪有個槍殺案嘅，係咪？咁奧巴馬即刻走出嚟，哇！大肆佢講話一定要槍管啊，成啊每一樣嘢。但係大家可能唔知道一件嘅好明顯嘅事實，呢一個羅斯堡咧，都其實就係話俾我哋聽咧，佢係照住玫瑰園計劃去做嘅。因為點解咧？羅斯堡英文就 Roseburg 呢個字係點解咧 ？Roseburg 呢個字就係玫瑰之城咁解，明唔明啊？咪就係我哋一路講玫瑰園計劃，咪就係講玫瑰之城就係香港咯。點解佢又會講呢樣嘢咧？會唔會係撞彩啊？咁大家又睇下呢個玫瑰之城，其實佢花咗幾多年落去咧，去部署佢，俾你知道咧，佢同玫瑰園計劃一模一樣。因為點解咧？好啦，我哋知道玫瑰之城啊，咁但係個名點嚟嘅咧？你估下幾月幾號改一個名？咁當然，如果我問得你幾月幾號嘅話，咁大家都估到應該係9月23號啦。冇錯，佢就係1851年9月23號改名叫做玫瑰之城。而事實上呢，記唔記得我哋同大家去分享講關於榮耀列車啊，好多呢啲嘅嘢嘅。咁啊咁啱喎，喺前排呢，其中個偽旗行動喺火車上面去打敗啊呢一個嘅恐怖分子嘅呢個火車英雄啊！嘅啊，火車英雄就係讀呢間咁嘅槍擊學校，咁啱嘅。OK 嗱，所以你會睇到明明係過咗9月23號啊，點解佢仍然拎翻呢個玫瑰啦、923啦呢一樣出嚟呢？原因我想你知道呢一班嘅演員呢，其實佢係照住劇情去做，而每一樣嘢都係有意思嘅。其實奧巴馬只不過講俾我哋聽，再次 confirm 一樣嘢，就係話俾全世界啲精英知道呢，923真係正式開始咗啦。
於2015年10月1日發生於美國俄勒岡州羅斯堡北部嘅安普瓜社區學院所發生嘅偽旗行動槍擊案，再一次完美演繹同埋串聯佢哋所重視嘅共同訊息。槍擊案發生嘅所在地羅斯堡 （Roseburg） 意思係玫瑰之城，再一次出現玫瑰呢個字。羅斯堡嘅名字為紀念殖民者 Aaron Rose 於1851年9月23日建立城市，再一次出現923呢個數字。於槍擊案中，槍手莫瑟 Christopher Harber Mercer 帶同4支長短槍於安普瓜社區學院開槍，造成10死9傷，槍手莫瑟被當場擊斃。而當然，今次事件亦係另一次偽旗行動，但相較以往嘅偽旗行動，今次嘅槍擊案更為粗疏。佢哋為咗減少喺畫面上嘅破綻，因此設定槍手於會堂中開火及死亡，並且盡量減少傷者喺鏡頭前出現。而案件只係靠傳媒剪輯嘅片段，加上危機演員嘅訪問，以說服鏡頭前如同羊群嘅觀眾，甚至可以翻用 Sandy Hook 槍擊案嘅片段。
Oregon this evening, as victims' bodies were removed from the scene of a deadly shooting on a school campus. Gunfire rang out around 10:30 this morning at Umpqua Community College, and we now know the name of the man who pulled the trigger, brutally killing 9.
但呢種冇發生事故而靠後期製作嘅設定，卻造成更大嘅漏洞。就係除咗危機演員之外，當時於槍擊案附近嘅人都聽唔到任何槍聲。
And you said you were hiding behind a desk. Can you describe kind of where your class took cover?
It was in a square room where all the teachers gathered with all their smaller cubicles next to it and all of that. And we hid into between two desks. I did, and I was with people here and there, and then desks right there. And I just sat there and waited to see what was going on.
And you're a hunter, you said, so you would know the sound of gunshot. You would be comfortable with that, and yet you said you heard nothing.
I heard nothing at all, which is really crazy, freaky, and surprising.
What was the mood like at the fairgrounds when you were all gathered?
People running in, trying to find other people they knew, and hoping that they hadn't been lost, and trying to find friends and family, and pretty panicked still.
I was in the building across from I was in the Lockwood Hall, straight across, and I actually didn't hear any gunshots.
但係任何人開槍嘅時候，其實槍聲於1里之外仍然能夠聽見，更何況呢種槍擊案唔止開咗一槍，而係造成10死9傷嘅掃射，甚至仲同警方駁火。周邊嘅學生根本冇可能冇聽見槍聲。
Marilyn Kittleman on the line with us, whose son, a 17-year-old, is a student on campus and sort of holed up awaiting instruction. Ms. Kittleman, have you been given information? The best information that I've gotten is that this gunman, whoever he is, went to Snyder Hall and started opening fire in a classroom. Do you have anything more to add to that?
What I've been told is it was the science building.
Which is right next door to Snyder Hall. Yeah, go ahead.
Right, and that there are definitely 10 confirmed dead and could be up to as many as 25 wounded. But I don't have anything more than that. We know it wasn't in the history building. And my son also took note of the fact that he said, you know, Mom, it's really curious. No sounds of shooting. He said that they were either using suppressors. He's very aware of firearms. He's a shooter. And he says no noise, no shooting, no nothing. He said it's pretty hard to believe that there were up to 30 rounds shot, which is what we heard.
並且網上有人發現槍手同警員駁火嘅現場，地上睇嚟冇任何血跡，亦冇傷者出現。
Now, I've been around guns all my life. In the military and prior to that, my family, they're all hunting fans and everything. And you can hear guns from miles away, all right? And this shooter shot multiple times, right? And he had, what they say, 4 guns on him. It's a lot to carry, but whatever. And of course, they got all these little yellow things to mark the bullet shell casings on the ground. But I don't see any bullet shell casings. All I see is little yellow things. I also don't see any blood.
And I actually didn't hear any gunshots. Someone had come in and told us that something was going on, so they locked us down. And we did not exit the building until the Douglas County officers came and escorted us out. And they had us in a single file line with our hands above our head. And when we got there, they had 4 lines, and they had each student searched. And then they had us in the waiting, like a staging area. And as we passed by, we could see where the shooting took place. You could see like some blood on the ground where they had like it marked out. We didn't actually see any people injured. They'd already removed them at the time.
而呢個冇槍聲嘅槍擊案中，同其他偽旗行動嘅槍擊案一樣，總會有一個英雄出現，為咗喺槍擊案之後籌集善款，支付危機演員嘅開支。今次就係退伍軍人 Chris Means， 但係佢嘅出現卻正正成為整個偽旗行動嘅最大破綻。於槍擊案中 ，Chris Means 叫其他人逃走，並且奮不顧身衝向槍手，最後身中7槍。
This morning, 30-year-old Chris Mintz out of surgery, recovering from 7 gunshot wounds. Witnesses say the student and Army vet charged straight at the gunman, trying to save who he could, telling others to run.
He ran to the library and pulled all the alarms, and he was telling people to run, grabbing people, telling them, you just have to go. And he actually ran back towards the building where the shooting was, and he ran back into the building, and I don't know what happened to him.
雖然身中7槍，但係佢唔單止冇死去，送院嘅時候無需帶上任何氧氣罩，亦冇血從傷口中流出，更冇任何醫護人員幫佢蓋住傷口止血。須知道，一個正常人中槍嘅時候，子彈穿過身體，必然傷及身體內嘅器官，因而從彈孔傷口中流出大量鮮血。但 Chris Means 中槍冇耐，被抬上擔架床嘅時候，佢冇任何流血現象。另外，當一個人中槍，出於本能，必然會用手按住傷口止血。同樣咁樣，當 Chris Means 被抬上擔架床嘅時候，雙手冇任何血跡。顯然，佢嘅反應已經超越一般人，即使中槍都唔會按住傷口止血，而係好似裝甲機械人一樣，絲毫無損。而佢喺手術之後，上載咗一啲照片，佢嘅親友睇嚟唔似探望一個身中7槍、生命危在旦夕嘅人。並且雖然多個器官中槍損毀，但身上卻唔需要帶上任何監察身體狀況嘅儀器，而病房周圍亦冇任何醫療器材，彷彿似係一個搭建嘅廠景，而多過似一間深切治療病房。並且有人發現佢包住傷口嘅紗布下邊，腹部中槍嘅傷口位置其實係佢嘅肚臍。
It definitely looks convincing. Now, he's going to enlarge. Now let's stop it right here. You can't see his nipples at all right here. Can't see them, right? can't see it up over here. And as you can barely tell right here, watch. Right? This is his belly button. This is not a bullet wound. As a matter of fact, the patch is completely over the belly button. For one thing, if he was shot in the stomach and they did surgery, there would be bruising around the gunshot. That's how you know one. Two, there is no, what? Sutures. That's right, there are no stitches in this whatsoever.
旁邊同樣係冇縫針嘅傷口，亦唔係子彈傷口，而係割盲腸之後嘅疤痕。而伴隨佢嘅英勇事蹟，當然唔少得為佢設計捐款網站。目前為止，捐款亦應該會超過100萬美元。同樣，伴隨住偽旗行動，亦有一班剛剛經歷完槍擊案，同學仲重傷留院，但係仍面露笑容嘅危機演員。
And I was mounting a wet slide for a look at some moss.
訪問校長嘅時候，佢更透露槍擊案前亦有演習活動。
I can't get into that now.
Can you talk to us about the safety drills you guys may have done or after?
We just had one at in-service last week.
Last week?
Mm-hmm.
For students as well?
Not for students. The staff is responsible for student safety.
而緊接槍擊案之後，當然亦有兒子剛剛去世，但隨即已經收復心情，心平氣和咁樣提倡槍械管制嘅父親。
The only thing I would like to say, the question that I would like to ask is how on earth could he compile 13 guns? How can that happen? You know, they talk about gun laws, they talk about gun control. Every time something like this happens, they talk about it and nothing is done. I'm not trying to say that that's the blame for what happened, but if Chris had not been able to get a hold of 13 guns, it wouldn't have happened.
That's a very powerful statement coming from you.
而由於要加入另一個共同信息列車、高鐵於呢個事件中，因此新聞報導指出，今年8月於一輛由荷蘭開往法國巴黎嘅高鐵上邊，應用制服一名槍手嘅3個美國人，其中一個史卡拉托斯恰巧於今年9月起就讀呢間位於偏遠地區嘅社區學院，所以於呢度出現另一個共同信息，就係高鐵。雖然呢宗槍擊案如往常嘅偽旗行動一樣，有住眾多異常唔合理嘅地方，於鏡頭下錯漏百出，但關於相信傳媒同埋電視機畫面嘅觀眾們，大部分仍會不加思索咁樣照單全收。羅斯堡槍擊案顯然係另一次偽旗行動，不過今次卻係串連一系列嘅共同信息，包括玫瑰之城、923同埋高鐵。玫瑰之城必然係代表香港，就係位於半山 Alderdina House 之下，對比美國加州帕薩迪納呢個玫瑰之城。而槍擊案發生嘅時間，正正就係奧巴馬於9月23號同教宗會面之後嘅幾日，因此再一次顯示923必然係一個重要嘅數字，以提醒所有知情人士。